are ready. That was earlier today, and inside the locker room, the players. In a moment that's unmatched by any other, if you've ever been there. That's the tenseness that you can't talk about. Hurricane Floyd has passed on through the New York area, and it's a bright, sunshiny day as we get ready for the 133rd meeting of the Redskins and the Giants. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, let's first talk about the Redskins. Last week they lost a heartbreaker to the Dallas Cowboys in overtime. They gained over 500 yards. By all rights, they should have won that game, and they're still a little bit in shock over it.
Yeah, when we talked to him last night and watched him practice a little yesterday, you could feel that. But you know, at some point they have to get over that. You look at the Redskins this year, and you say they're a better offensive team because they have the real deal in Brad Johnson now. I mean, Brad Johnson is a real professional quarterback, and he can move this team. And then they have the receivers, they got the running back, they have a good offensive line. And the question about the Redskins is going to be the same question: can their defense hold up? Can they play for 60 minutes? Can they stop anyone? Can they hold up against the run? And they're not only going to be tested a little today, but they're going to be tested all season.
Almost the reverse is true of the Giants. They beat Tampa Bay last week, but they made only 4 first downs. What is their situation?
Well, you know, they said in the offseason that they want to open it up, that they want to open up this offense, and then they play Tampa Bay, and like you say, Pat, they only get 4 first downs, so they don't open it up. And I question if they really have the players to open it up. I mean, I don't know that Kent Graham is a quarterback that is going to put up big numbers. I don't know that they have the wide receivers. I don't know that they have the running back, the offensive line. I think if the Giants are going to be successful, it's going to have to be old Giant football, where the defense plays strong. You know, the defense gets some points. They play good special teams, and instead of a lot of big plays on offense, they just don't make any mistakes.
And I'll be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after this word from your local station.
It wasn't always pretty, but you did what you had to do to win the game. What do you have to do today against the Redskins to win?
Well, offensively, we're going to have to play better. We're going to have to be able to throw the ball and run the ball and put some points on the board and take some time off the clock.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Pat and John.
That's DJ Johnson talking with Jim Fossil, the head coach of the Giants. DJ, an ex-defensive back in the NFL. The Redskins have won the toss. Brad Daluiso will kick off for the Giants. Brian Mitchell and James Thrash back deep for the Redskins. Thrash is number 87.
What did Jim Fossil just say? They have to run it and throw it?
Yep. That's a pretty good formula
for offense.
Brian Mitchell, one of the most dangerous return men in the game, and has been for a long time, and almost busted that one. Let's look at the Redskin offense, led by that new quarterback, Brad Johnson, 15-9 as a starter. The offensive line improved as well. Heck, Sims, Raymer, Johnson, and Jansen, the rookie. Stephen Davis is the running back. Larry Centers in front of him. Westbrook and Connell, and Stephen Alexander's the tight end. Johnson comes out of the pocket, gets it to Westbrook. Picked up about 7. Let's look at the Giants defense. The front 4 strong, maybe the strong point of the team. Jones, Hamilton, Harris, and Strahan. 3 linebackers are Armstead, Whitmer in the middle, and Ryan Phillips. The secondary, Jeremy Lincoln and Felipe Sparks. Ellsworth and Garnes, the safety men. 2nd and 3. 2 tight ends set up. Stephen Davis. There was a hold, but it was closed quickly.
It was closed, and that was a collision in the hole. One thing about Stephen Davis is he has some power, and as Norv Turner said, you know, there for a while he was running up too high, and said he doesn't always get behind his shoulder pads. That time he needed to get behind his shoulder pads to get that first down.
He was belted. And that's about all he got, just the 3 yards. Stellers has moved into the Redskin backfield. Johnson fakes, throws. Sellers on the screen pass, tripped up by Armstead.
Yeah,
just got him by the ankle.
I was just going to say that Mike Sellers is a load. He's kind of a fullback tight end. He weighs 270 pounds. But if you could get him on a screen pass like that, and if he could get started in the open field, tumbling down the field 270 pounds, that'd be a big load for you.
270, indeed. Out of the backfield is Stephen Alexander for a Redskin first down. He had lined up at fullback.
That's one of the things Norv Turner was talking about, is that he wants to give a lot of different Giant defense. You just give them one look and let them zero in on you. You have to really mix things up.
Well, he's giving them a lot of looks. Here's Johnson again, back to throw it. Flag on the play before it ever got underway. Connell made the reception. Must be against the Redskins.
Yeah, it has to be against the Redskins because they blew the whistle. If it's against the defense, they would let the play go. And if it's illegal formation against the Redskins, they would blow it dead before it started. Yeah, and you remember him when he was up in Minnesota, and you know, if he weren't injured, he would have been their quarterback last year.
Stephen Davis hit behind the line and knocked backwards.
That was Cedric Joe.
So it's 2nd and 17 now. 0-0. We're in the first quarter at Giant Stadium. Brian Mitchell is the lone setback. Inside Westbrook. And Michael Westbrook gets a Redskin first down in the hands of the Felipe Sparks.
That was an interesting formation, Pat. They had a bunch or an overload, so they have single back here. And the minute Westbrook gets by Felipe Sparks, he has a wide open hole in there.
Like you say, they cleared out a side for him. 1st and 10 Redskins. Davis inside the Giant 30, about the 28, stopped by Sparks again.
Johnson's having a pretty good start here. We said that he's a real quarterback. He's starting out here 4 out of 4. You know, when he was at Florida State, he played on the college basketball team. I mean, he played on their basketball team a couple years. So it's that kind of athletic skill. You know, you say a quarterback is an athlete. Well, Brad Johnson is a basketball type athlete playing quarterback.
And a very good shooter. He sees a lot. Pass is caught at about the 2-yard line by Alexander. It'll be 1st and goal Redskins, almost 6.
What they did to Stephen Alexander.
He ran a very good pattern.
And no one touched him at all.
Davis is deep, touchdown, Redskins standing. Johnson in that offensive unit made it look easy.
And Norv Turner in his play calling, too, because he had great mixture, not only mixture of run and pass, but mixture of personnel. And it looks like on that drive,
Pro Bowl player in years past. Redskins 6, Giants nothing. Redskins 7 as Brett Conway hits the extra point. 7-0. The Redskins over the Giants as they took the opening kickoff and drove it for a touch. New York, maybe not for the New York Giants, who trailed the Redskins 7-0. Redskins took the opening kickoff and drove after a good return by Brian Mitchell. They made it look pretty easy.
That's when you script them and you practice them and you draw them up, and then they come out just like that.
Tiki Barber will return the kickoff. Barber with some room and down the sideline and out of bounds. Good return. And the Giants will take over in good shape. It's a courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Goodyear currently maintains a 7-blimp fleet, 3 in the United States, 4 international. Graham outside to Sean Bennett.
Ken Graham told us yesterday that the first 3 plays of this game were going to be passes, that they were going to come out and try and establish the pass and then go to the run. So, you know, when you throw a pass and you lose yardage, I would imagine second and long you're going to pass anyway, and then if that's not successful, you're going to be 3rd.
Better make some adjustments on 2nd down. Graham drops. Caught by Ike Hilliard. Let's have a look at the Giants offense led by Kent Graham, who has won his last 5 starts in front Roman Oben, Pettigrew, Brian Williams, Ron Stone, and Scott Gregg. Bennett and Wade, the two running backs, Amani Toomer and Ike Hilliard, the wide receivers, Howard Tross. Again, it's tight end. 7-0 Redskins lead it. Tiki Barber as Graham comes out of the shotgun this time. Graham looking. Has Hilliard. Flag on the play. Champ Bailey made the stop. The Redskins' #1 choice.
Yeah, and the penalty is over here on the offside, and in fact it looked like it's going to be against the Giants, and I bet it's against David Patton. David Patton was down here, and Darrell Green was man-to-man on him.
Pass interference, 88 offense. 10-yard penalty
Against Hilliard.
That's against Ike Hilliard.
Yep.
It looked like Darrell Green and Patton were going at it down here. You're going to see him right here in the slot. This is what they call. You see, he comes off the line and he just runs in. Now you can't, after 5 yards, the defensive guy can't bump the offensive guy, but the offensive guy just can't come running off the line of scrimmage and knock the defensive guy either.
3rd down. Graham again in the shotgun. And back to throw. King Graham. Flag on the play. Pass is incomplete. Intended for David Patton.
And that's going to be a hold back here against the Giants. That's going to be against Roman Oben, the left tackle, because that happened right in front of the referee.
Do you take it or refuse it?
No, you refuse it.
Penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the Giants will have to punt. Brad Maynard is #9. They had a very busy and a very good week last week.
And the Giants started out in a terrible way offensively. You know, the thing that they didn't need, even when they complete a pass, they have a penalty and the ball is brought back, and then they have another penalty, and you know that isn't the way they imagined the start today.
Snapped a little low, but this is a good kick. Brian Mitchell signals fair catch, makes it, juggles it, but retains possession. So the Redskins will take over at about their own 11-yard line, make it to 12. 7-0. Giants trail the Redskins 7-0, 7:16 left to play in the first quarter. Redskins ball at their own 12. It is kind of warm on the field.
Anytime you get, and there's 3 numbers in the number of the degrees of the heat, then if you're a lineman, you hate that kind of weather.
Davis away from 1, away from 2, and out of bounds after a sizable gain, out of bounds at about the Redskins 37.
Yeah, and that's the type of thing that you can't do. Jeremy Lincoln.
Brad Johnson's arm is hit just as he let it go. Pass is incomplete, intended for Westbrook, I believe. Albert Connell.
Yep, and it's on Jeremy Lincoln.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing that he knew. You know, we talked all week, Jason Sehorn wasn't going to play today, you know, didn't dress today. If you're going to work on someone in that secondary, it's Jeremy Lincoln. He just missed a tackle on the run, and then they go right back and they throw the up on him. And he gets pass interference.
Pass interference.
39
And Jim Fossil's not very happy about the situation right now. 7-0. Washington.
And he got his left hand up in there. I mean, that's a tough thing to do. I mean, it is tough in this league being a cornerback, but you have to be able to tackle on the run today.
Fake to Davis. Screen pass back to the other side to Alexander, and Alexander spins inside the 10 to about the 9.
Well, they're throwing everything on him, aren't they, today? We saw that earlier where they put Mike Sellers in and did that. Then they right down the field.
And it's 1st and goal. Davis inside the 5 to about the 4. The ball came loose. Now let's see who's got it.
This is the type of thing that the Giants do well. I mean, they play good defense, and they're opportunistic, and they're always going for the ball. This is the type of thing that has haunted that Redskin offense and Norv Turner too. Remember last week against the Cowboys, they got inside the 20 and had a couple of fumbles.
When you get a pile like that,
they're on top of the ball. That's not a bad rule. He who fumbles should recover it.
He gets another chance, does Davis. Down to about the 1.5-yard line, and he's pushed back from there. Redskins already leading 7-0.
Yeah, we're talking about Stephen Davis and how he's coming along. One thing, he's always had a problem with running too high, and you can see on those last 2 plays he was too high. I mean, when the closer you get to the goal line, the lower you have to be on both sides. Defensively, you have to get lower, and offensively, you have to get lower.
It's 3rd and goal. They have about a yard, a little bit over a yard to go for a touchdown.
I think this is a passing situation.
Davis again, and he spins touchdown.
Or a running situation where the back sits in there and spins and gets a touchdown. That offensive line is doing a good job on this New York Giant defensive line.
That's Davis' 4th touchdown of the year. Conway's extra point is good, and the Redskins have it going their way, 14-0. Manhattan, the George Washington Bridge, the Hudson River. 14-0 Washington over the Giants.
The New York Giant defense sitting down there with their heads down, not knowing what the heck just hit them. Washington Redskins sideline feeling pretty good about themselves because everything they've done has worked today.
David Patton gets the return this time, and he is hit down at about the 21-yard line, where the Giants will take over.
Yeah, we talked about the Redskins and Norv Turner, what kind of game he's calling offensively. You know that it's not only different formations he's used, but it's different people that he's used. And he has substituted offensively so far in this game every play. He's had a different group of offensive players in there every play that they've run so far.
That, people ask you all the time how the game has changed. That's the way it's changed.
It really has this defense off balance.
Graham fakes to his running back, rolls and throws high. Incomplete. Intended for Hilliard. Let's look at the Redskins defense. You've seen their offense in high gear. Coleman, Stubblefield, Dan Wilkinson, and Lang up front. The 3 linebackers, Derek Smith in the middle, Barber and Jones, the 2 outside backers. And the secondary, the ageless Darrell Green and Champ Bailey, their #1 draft choice at the corners. And here is Sean Bennett to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And here comes some boos for the Giant offensive unit.
Well, you know, it was a thing we talked about before the game started that you know, they want to open up this offense. Jim Fossil said they're going to open it up. You know, Kent Graham says they're going to open it up. And I still, you know, have the question, do they have the players that are going to open it up? And, you know, so the fans come here and they know about defense, but they expect offense. They want to see something. They want
to see them open it up.
They want to see some completed passes. They want to see some passing accuracy.
3rd and 9.
They want to see some 3rd down conversions.
3rd and 9. The Redskins show blitz, and here they come. Pass is tipped on the way out, and it's incomplete. Right now, for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
At John Dilfer, quarterback under pressure, blitz, quick hitch out to Bert Emanuel. He takes it in for the score. It is now 7-3, Bucks over the Eagles. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
And it's 14-0 at Giant Stadium. The Redskins over the Giants. And Brad Maynard back to punt again. Brian Mitchell deep. Maynard gets off another good kick. Mitchell will have a chance to do some business with this one. And does. Redskins will take over at their own 47, 46-yard line. They already lead it 14-0. 3:22 left in the first.
Last week, Pat, the Redskins had so many players that had dehydration, and Their owner, Daniel Snyder, says we're not going to have dehydration anymore. And this is one of the things they're doing. They have two guys there that have been darn near full time just taking water and Gatorade out of there and putting it in cups for these Redskin players.
Sure, it's ready. There was Davis over the left side again.
But you know, when you have 100 of that and you know, dehydration, you really have to take care of that during the week. I mean, you have to get your fluids and those things during the week. And sometimes, you know, when you get thirsty and you feel that you need water, then it's too late. Plus, I have another theory that everyone is down on preseason. They don't play enough in preseason. Regular season starts, they play the whole game and they're not ready.
Well, that was Champ Bailey over on the sideline a minute ago. He's one of the players who suffered from dehydration last week. That's Connell who makes the reception. A flag on the play.
And they're going to
roughing the passer.
They're going to call roughing the passer here. You can see Michael Strahan there. He started to argue on the other side of the quarterback that that wasn't roughing the passer. And again, once the ball leaves a quarterback's hand, you can't touch him.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 92 defense. At 15
well, 92
yards
is the right man to be arguing. That's Strahan.
That's Michael Strahan. You're going to see him right here. You see, he starts off and then he's running a stunt. He comes underneath and the ball is thrown and he just pushes Brad Johnson down. That wasn't a bad one. I mean, I think what Strahan is saying, I couldn't stop, but I just got my hands up on him. I mean, he really, in his defense, he really didn't unload on him. But by rule, he did hit him after he threw the ball.
He was late. No question about that. Here's Brad Johnson. Outside pass caught. Again, it's Connell. And he gets about 8.
And they better get Jason Sehorn healthy here because they're really going to work on Jeremy Lincoln out there. I mean, they found a guy, and Brad Johnson is one of those quarterbacks. When he finds something, he's going to keep going there. They worked about Friday. He didn't do much yesterday, but he thought he could play today, but they didn't activate him.
Straight ahead is Davis. Still on his feet, and he's gone. If he's not down, that's a touchdown.
He's not down. They didn't blow a whistle. That is a touchdown.
That is a touchdown. That's his 3rd today, 5th of the year.
That's just sloppy defense. That's being alert on offense. You never stop until the whistle blows. I mean, the Redskins are almost perfect, and the Giants haven't done anything right.
Nothing. 20-0. Watch this again.
Watch Stephen Davis. He's going to pound in here now. Now they think they stop, but you never think that. I mean, you got to blow the whistle. You got to play the whistle, and then no one wrapped him up. Remember we were talking to Jesse Armstead about that?
Yeah.
He said the biggest thing in tackling is wrapping up.
Conway is good again, and it's 21-0, and he never went down. No question about that.
Yeah, and the only thing was whether his forward progress. Day one, you learn you play until the whistle blows. Look at this, Stephen Davis, the yards after contact. He has 25 yards after contact.
And 3 touchdowns.
That means missed tackles.
Tiki Barber, no place to go. Stumbles at about the 12-yard line. And that's where the Giants will start. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader.
Lambeau Field, you go down Lombardi Avenue. We're going to have a case of brats here, 144 brats. Now you're talking.
Yeah. That's LeSean Johnson, the carrier. Leo Mont Evans up to make the stop.
These guys are just mauling them.
Yeah. Next week, we were talking about being up in Green Bay. Minnesota swept the 1998 series and won the NFC Central Division title. Randy Moss, 13 receptions. That's when he was really uncovered or discovered by the NFL last year. And Green Bay trying to do something about that. Did nothing but draft cornerbacks in this year's draft. Here's Kent Graham back to throw it. Pass caught by Ike Hilliard. Flag on the play.
That's what Ken Graham thought that they could do, is work the inside, because the strength of the Redskin defense, really their corners, Darrell Green and the rookie Champ Bailey.
And they're holding the Giants.
But every time the Giants start to get something going, they get a penalty.
That's about the only time they've even started to get anything going.
Distance to the goal, still 2nd down.
That's another rookie. That's Luke Pettigrew. He's the rookie left guard who was caught for that.
He had been a tackle in college.
Yeah, and sometimes he reverts to his tackle thing. Here's 72 right here. 77 right here. I mean, excuse me. You see, he just grabs him and takes him down there with that right arm. But where he got in trouble was bringing his inside foot back. When he dropped his inside foot back, that gave the inside lane. Then he had to hold.
That gets you in trouble with tackle or guard. Catch made by LeSean Johnson.
Well, as a guard, you have to stay square. You know, as a tackle, you can drop that foot and then, you know, just push the guy to the outside. As a guard, you have to stay in there and stay square and keep your guy on the line of scrimmage. And anytime you open a leg, then you're giving him the lane. And then if he takes that lane and then you're out of position, then the only thing you can do is what Pettigrew did on that play, is hold him.
Third down and about 9. Tiki Barber in the backfield. A shotgun with Ted Graham, excuse me. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Redskins 21, the Giants nothing. And Fox NFL Sunday from Giants Stadium will continue after these messages. 0-0. The Redskins over the Giants. Pat Summerall and John Madden at Giants Stadium. And it's been all Redskins so far.
The Giants don't have a first down yet.
Flag on the play. Graham gets it out to Ike Hilliard. And that'll be a first down. But there was a flag.
Offside. 72 defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
That the Giants got today.
Line of scrimmage, the Giant 26.
You know, these fans are knowledgeable. I think Giant fans are among the most knowledgeable football fans in the league.
Flicker coming. Graham to Hilliard, and Ike Hilliard is taken down.
They're going to say he stepped out of bounds, Pat. He caught the ball, and they're going to say that he stepped out.
2 first downs now for the Giants. Timeout as Graham heads over to the sideline. Maybe the most valuable piece of real estate in the world.
To me, it's a miracle. It's amazing that over the years, Central Park has stayed and no one has messed with it. No one has ever said, hey, let's build an office building in it.
Here's Graham. Down the middle, incomplete, juggled by Dan Campbell. Had a step.
But that was a perfect pass by Kent Graham.
Graham quickly outside before the Redskins got set. Joe Jurevicius.
Yeah, they caught him in a coverage where there was no one out there in Jurevicius. And Kent Graham saw that, and he just throws them out there a little quicker, or Pounds would have been a step slower. That would have been a touchdown.
You can see the yellow line indicating where they need to go, or approximately where they need to go to get a first down. That's LeSean Johnson who gets minus yardage.
Yeah, that was Kennard Lang.
And now the Giants are going for it. Rushing yardage, a -1 figure so far. Graham out of the shotgun, will throw if he has time. Does throw, and they'll get the first down. Pete Mitchell, they can't get him down.
Yeah, he's fired up. He better save his fired up for playing. You're 21.
First down, Giants at the Redskin 15, just inside the 15-yard line. Graham gets to Charles Way, and Way rumbles down for a pickup of about 7.
You know what the Giants did is they really quickened the pace there too. I mean, they're getting the play in, they're getting in and out of the huddle, and they're starting to get a little control at that line of scrimmage. That time they ran in there behind Pettigrew and Robin Oben, and they did a good job of blocking that right side of the defense.
Remember that run by Way That's the Giants' longest run this year, not just today. It includes last week.
What did he stumble for?
That's Charles Way, and he is in there for a touchdown, Giants.
That's not bad, and it was just what I said. They started to take control in the offensive line, and you could see it as the drive went down there. They quickened the pace. They started to get up to the line of scrimmage. They started to control the line of scrimmage. Charles Way makes a couple of runs down here. But watch the control of the line of scrimmage. Look at that hole there. I mean, they not only block at the point of attack, but they also get downfield and block the safety. Jim Fossil says, okay, now that is what I'm talking about, open it up a little.
Valuiso for the extra point. And remember, as I'm sure they do, that the Redskins were ahead by 21 points last week.
And they're probably thinking about that right now.
Charles Way's touchdown. Plans 21-7. The Redskins over the Giants. 11:10 left to play in the second quarter. Valuiso set to kick it off.
You know, anytime you have a good run by a running back, you will have a block by a wide receiver. And on that touchdown run of Charles Way, Ike Hilliard made a good block.
Ball blew off the tee. Back deep for the Redskins. Brian Mitchell is number 30. James Thrash back there with him.
And there's still some action going on there in that Giant bench. And I think it's their senior equipment man,
Whitey Wagner.
Whitey Wagner, that's having some problems. They've been working on him for quite a while down there.
Valuiso kick sails to Mitchell deep into the end zone, and he downs it wisely.
Now watch what happens here to Sam Shade. He's the safety. Now you got the hole. Now you're going to get that yardage, but watch right here. Ike Hilliard comes in, and he's going to make the block there. Now that could have been tackled on the 5-yard line, but because of that block by Ike Hilliard, that happened because the safety is going to be the extra guy unless a wide receiver gets to him.
Brad Johnson, the Redskin quarterback, back to throw it. Chased out of the pocket, throws it away. Brad Johnson knows what this game is about. Big guy, 6'5", 225.
Yeah, the thing is, and we talked about how how he's an athlete. He's a guy that is very serious about football. I mean, football means a lot to him. Playing in Minnesota meant a lot to him. He was really shocked and surprised when he was traded, but he's very serious about this game.
Back to throw, blitz coming. He gets the pass out to the Larry Centers, who came from the Cardinals to the Redskins, and the Giants played it well.
Brad Johnson was saying the toughest thing that he has, is kind of football is the same. I mean, your offense is about the same, and the plays are about the same, and you're playing against the same defenses. He said the most difficult thing he has is the verbiage. What you call the play. And the players say playing with him, you just have to kind of fill in the blanks because he doesn't always get the words right.
Still leaves a few words out. 3rd and 11.
Sometimes you leave a few sentences out of a paragraph.
Johnson back to throw. Throws deep and out of bounds and incomplete. Connell was the intended receiver, incomplete, and the Redskins will have to punt as the crowd comes to life.
John Fox, the defensive coordinator, gives the doubles thumbs up. And I was saying about this crowd here, these Giants fans recognize, appreciate, and know good defense better, I think, than anyone in the league.
Well, it's been the name of the game for them for a long, long time.
Percy Ellsworth made a heck of a play on that because it was getting up, and he cut that whole thing off.
Matt Turk just barely got it out of there. And it's out of bounds. Close to midfield. The Giants will take over, I believe, in Redskin territory.
Kind of feel a momentum swing here, don't you?
You can. Johnson with a towel to his right eye. We don't know as yet whether he got poked in the eye or got hit beside the head or what happened. But they put that cold towel to the right side of his head.
You're talking about getting poked in the eye, and you look at Brian Williams and wearing that shield there, and what an amazing comeback he's had after 2 years of being out of football.
Graham, screen up the middle, intended for Bennett. Not there. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to Brad Johnson.
Yeah, I think someday probably also the quarterbacks, running backs, every position.
LaShawn Johnson, the carry, couldn't make up his mind which way to go.
Wasn't that something we were talking to Brian Williams yesterday about his eye and what happened? He got poked in the eye, and his eyeball went down 4 or 5 inches. They had to bring it back up, put a plate in it. He can't look down.
He looked down, but he said, and I never thought about it until he said it, what do you do when you look down? Do you look down that much, or do you move your head?
Yeah, you move your head when you look down, so he can move his head, but he just can't look down with his eyes. But the fact that he ever played football again is amazing.
It is. Pass is complete over the middle to David Patton, but not enough for a first down. That was 3rd and long. Brad Johnson throwing on the sideline.
Just trying to get his vision out of blurry, and I'm sure that he's okay. That was another one of those, those passes for you need 6 or 7 yards and you throw it 2. That you can either say what the heck are they doing that for, or that's good defense in that they took everything else away and the only thing that they gave him was that 2-yard pass.
Maynard back to punt. Low line drive. Mitchell's going to let it go and decides to fair catch it at about the 8. It's kind of been a rule for years that you don't fair catch it inside the 10. 4-star comedy Action is being hailed as the best series of the new season. A special presentation of Action tonight. Then on Thursday, catching all new Action on its at their own 8.5.
These fans want a giant defensive turnover here, or play.
Brad Johnson back to throw. Incomplete. Remember, he was poked in the eye on the...
And, grabbed a face mask, and it could have been one of those 5-yard face mask penalties.
2nd and 10. Redskins up by 14. Giants showing blitz. Davis, the ball carrier, nothing doing.
Percy Ellsworth was the free safety, the weak safety. He came up and blitzed right in the hole on the safety blitz. That was a great call by John Fox. Back to run there, so you blitz in the hole where they're going to run. And when that happened, as a defensive coordinator, you say, ooh la la, or something like that.
3rd and 10. I never heard that.
Well, I just hit one is what you're saying.
Johnson up the middle, juggled and dropped by Stephen Alexander. Almost a sensational catch. But the Redskins will have to punt. Remember, the Giants almost blocked the last one. Juravicius almost got it.
And I'm sure that they're going to be pointing to Joe Juravicius on this one, and Juravicius is going to be thinking that he has a shot. There's a skirmish breaking out.
Scrum.
There's about 5 Giants on 1 Redskin and 3 officials. Those are some bad numbers.
Andy Heck, the ex-Chicago Bear, in the middle of that.
And the other guy that's in the middle of it is Brian Mitchell. And if you look at most skirmishes,
Brian Mitchell
that the Redskins get in will involve Brian Mitchell.
Matt Turk will have to punt out of his own end zone. Tiki Barber back deep for the Giants.
And we got to look for Joe Juravicius here. He kind of lines up right here as a linebacker.
High kick by Turk. Flag on the play. Barber broke 1 tackle and was taken down at about the 47 by Dan Campbell. The penalty is against the Redskins, I believe. Let's see. Talking to Darrell Green, so it must be against the Giants.
Looked like it was roughing the punter. It looked like he gave the signal that they roughed the punter.
Running into the kicker. Penalty is declined. First down.
Running into the kicker is only a 5-yard penalty, so that wouldn't have given them a first down. That's why they turned it down.
Yeah.
Darryl Green's an amazing guy, isn't
he is totally amazing. I mean, the guy that, you know, has played that long,
17
years at that position is amazing, and doesn't look any older or any less speedy.
LeSean Johnson gets the carry for the Giants and picks up a couple.
This is one of the guys that Jim Fossil wanted to play more, Sean Bennett, if you could get LeSean Johnson in there. And the one thing about LeSean Johnson, if there's a hole there, he is going to hit it quickly.
And hard. Pass complete to Joe Juravicius, first down Giants.
You know, don't you feel every time you see Joe Juravicius that he ought to be playing more?
Yes.
I mean, the guy, for some reason, just makes plays. I mean, not only on offense, but also on special teams, almost block punts, makes blocks, does all those things. It seems like he's too valuable to not be on the field more.
Great big guy, 6'5", 230. Yeah, you're right.
I liked him from day one.
Johnson tripped up as he made his move upfield. Right now, let's go down to the sideline. DJ Johnson.
Well, preliminary report on locker room manager Ed Wagner is they think he may have had a stroke. Now, the good sign is when I went and stood by the ambulance, he was speaking. His eyes were open. He was definitely conscious. So let's hope for the best. Back up to you, Pat and John.
Indeed, we hope for the best.
Yeah,
he has been a fixture.
Yeah, he's been a fixture, and one of the first guys you see when you come to Giant practice is he and his son, and always has a big hello for everyone.
Johnson to the 30.
See, the thing is the Giants, when they quickened up that pace, started to get a little control of the offensive line, started to hit a few passes, loosen up that defense. Now they can mix in the run. The links in the chain and the number of links in the chain. And then you wonder, how do you know that they got the right number of links in the chain?
Third and very short. That'll be a first down by Kent Graham.
He got right in there. We're talking about Brian Williams and Ron Stone as right guard. He just got right in there. You know, and we're talking about how you have to be low on short yardage. You watch Kent.
Good word. First and 10 Giants. As Graham started to drop, flags come flying.
There's some funny moves in there, both offensively and defensively.
We'll start 81 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Right now, for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, Arizona has never beaten Miami. 7 tries. Take a look at Marino. Throws a pick. Fredrickson picks it off. What does he do? He returns it 34 yards to pay dirt. First pick that Marino has ever thrown in 94 attempts against Arizona. 13-6. Cards back to Pat and John.
Back at Giants Stadium, the Redskins lead the Giants 21-7. Graham fires complete to Amani Toomer.
I'll tell you, he did fire. You had the right word.
Good movement again.
False start.
False start.
77 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Luke Pettigrew.
Yep, that's the rookie again. That's one of the problems when you play rookies. You're going to have to live with things like that. You know, I mean, so far he's had a false start. Earlier, because of bad foot position, he had a hold. So he's accumulated 15 yards of penalties in this first half.
Second and 7. Right at the Redskin 25. Graham picked off by the Redskins. And the Redskins scamper the length of the field. It's Sean Barber. Graham threw it high, and Barber was right there.
That's a thing that you should never do. That was a screen pass. Yep. I mean, that wasn't even throwing the ball down the field. That they start to read these things. And you're going to see the screen pass is going to be out here to the left. And you have to drive linebackers off. Now, if you don't drive them off, if there's a guy still up in there, then you have to throw the ball.
Conway's extra point is blocked. One of the Giants got a hand on it, and that's going to make it 27-7. The extra point no good.
And Kent Graham knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way. I mean, he has to see Sean Barber in there. I mean, you want that guy. As you go back there, you want him to drive off, to get off deep. Then you throw the screen in front of them. But if you have one of their guys in the middle of your screen, there's no way that you do it.
The Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Goodyear currently maintains a 7-blimp fleet, 3 in the United States and 4 international blimp operations. As usual, the sellout crowd at Giant Stadium. They are one of 4 teams in the NFL who've sold over 70,000 season tickets.
And with that interception by Barber, a hush just came over all those people. Screen too, because that's one of the things on the screen. You let you bump and you let some of the defensive linemen come through, then you have to throw it over their head. But Giants have been working on screen passes, but you have to throw a lot downfield before those work.
David Patton's got some room. And Patton still on his feet, still in Redskin territory at the Redskin 47-yard line. For the latest NFL information right up to kickoff, makes the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show your weekly pregame ritual. 9 Pacific, 27-7, 3 minutes left to play in the first half as Graham fakes and throws and hits Amani Toomer. And Toomer down to the Redskin 10. Sam Shade finally tripped him up.
The thing is, sometimes you feel when you see pass protection like this, and this is what it takes, that you don't need to throw screens and stuff. If you have protection like this, where Kent Graham can get back and have time to do stuff like this. Watch Amani Toomer here. You see, he's working here. He just stopped, and now when he catches the ball, he knows that you just make that turn and you go. He was working against Champ Bailey there, and the Redskins are very, very impressed with Champ Bailey.
Here's Sean Johnson, touchdown Giants. Didn't take him long to get that one back, did it?
Well, it started with a good kickoff return and then a good pass by Kent Graham and a run by Amani Toomer. Then they just hit.
Story, LaShawn Johnson.
Sometimes
at his comeback.
It is, and sometimes you look at things and they're made so easy. You say, why don't they do it all the time?
Yeah.
I think that's
those extra points good. 27-14. Excuse me.
That's what as these fans are a little confused now, but they're going from booing to cheering to being way up high to being down low.
Got a broken thumb now, as John mentioned a minute ago, or a cast on his thumb. I think it might be healed by now, but still some protection. 2:16 left to play in the first half. Dalawiso has it teed up to kick off. Mitchell and Thrash back deep for Washington. 27-14, the Redskins lead. Dalawiso's kick is good and deep. Mitchell will crouch in the end zone, and the Redskins will take over at the 20.
You know, one thing we were talking about how the Redskins last week against the Cowboys had a lead, and the Cowboys came from behind and beat them in overtime. And you had the feeling that the Redskins, when we talked to them and saw them yesterday, still remembered that. But you have the feeling that the Giants might remember it too. Yeah. You know, that can be a motivating factor. You can say, well, we can't let that happen to us again if you're the Redskins. But if you're the Giants, you can say, hey, remember what happened to Dallas. Remember what Dallas did last week. We have to do what Dallas did last week.
1st and 10, Washington at their own 20. And offers to Davis. And Davis.
You see old Trey Johnson come around that corner, make that lead block.
Boy, he looks like a different guy.
He's still a big one, though.
Yes, he is. That's the big still goes with Trey Johnson. 14. The Redskins over the Giants. Redskin ball at their own 29-yard line.
Look what the Redskins did. Their first 5 possessions, they had touchdowns. In the last 2, they punted. In the first quarter, the Redskins gained 165 yards, total yards. In the second quarter, just 8. There it is right there. 100. And then look what the Giants have done, just the opposite.
Yep.
The Giants have only had 12 total yards in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, 173. So Redskins win first quarter, Giants win second quarter. But remember, the Giants did have that turnover in the second quarter.
Pass caught from Johnson to Connell. And that should be enough for another Redskin first down.
That he shouldn't go, that he can play and all these things, and he does that every week to prove it now. There he goes there. Oh, he made a move on Jeremy Lincoln. You talk about
nobody else in the picture.
You talk about leaving some of your undergarment on the football.
Change his stride, alter his slide enough when he fell down in front of him.
And he didn't even know where he was or where he was going. He thought he was running an out pattern. I think they better give Jeremy Lincoln all the help he can get out here.
Johnson has good time. Davis makes a one-handed catch. 75 years the Giants have been in business. You look at this crowd. There's one of the greats to ever wear that blue uniform, Frank Gifford, and his son Cody.
And look at this guy. There's Pat Summerall.
Yeah. That's not my helmet, though.
The 75 years in the patch and all those things are great because we have great tradition in this league.
Out of bounds is Irving Fryer, who had retired from the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're
first down. He knows where to go to get you a first down.
41 seconds left to play. Flag thrown on the play as the pass is complete to Westbrook. And he gets all the way down to the Giant 25, but a penalty marker down.
I'll tell you, the Giant corners are really having trouble with their tackling today. I mean, we've talked on one side Jeremy Lincoln, but Felipe Sparks has missed a couple tackles today too.
This is defensive holding.
Now, defensive holding will be an automatic first down, but they had a first down anyway.
Holding. 92 defense. Penalty has declined. First down.
It's Michael Strahan.
Michael Strahan has had some
chase. Gets away. And finally throws it dropped in the corner by Connell.
You know, that's the thing that and Norv Turner was talking about this and other players with Brad Johnson. That is the thing that he can do. And I think, you know, that he got that from basketball. He has those athletic abilities that when someone comes, he's big and he's strong and he can make a little move, get away, and still make a big throw.
And that ball could have been caught. That was right on the money.
I know, it was right there.
Yeah.
And these receivers are saying that they're starting to learn that now too. I mean, they didn't know that from other quarterbacks.
That ball should be caught.
That's a perfect throw.
Yeah.
He has to catch that ball.
Oh yeah.
It's in his hands. He just drops it. But what Brad Johnson had to go through to get that ball there was kind of pretty good.
Brian Mitchell. What a devastating block in front of him by somebody. I don't know. But I saw Giant heels go up.
Well, it was another missed tackle by Michael Strahan. To say, where in the heck did that guy come from?
That's a house.
Look at that, Pat. It says today 10 missed tackles. That's in the first half, 10 missed tackles.
The Redskins take another timeout. 17 seconds left. They have one timeout left. If they don't get the first down, they can get the field goal team in at least. Fossil has to be.
I think what they'll probably do is go for a touchdown here. Go for the end zone.
And here's Brad Johnson throwing. And a flag on the play. That's got to be interference. Jeremy Lincoln again.
That'll be interference, and that'll be on the 1 yard line. Yep. First down on the 1 yard line. Interference in the end zone. They found something there in that first half, and it's Jeremy Lincoln. And you know, you talk about what you have to do at halftime. That's one of the adjustments the Giants have to make.
The end zone. The ball we placed on the 1 yard line. First down.
They used 6 seconds with that play.
Bring you to the receiver.
Johnson fake throws. Touchdown to Stephen Alexander in the corner of the end zone. Now he said, let's go for 2. There's no Turner.
That is a tough one where you get play fake one way. You fake the ball to the right, then you have tight end do an out on the other side, and he ended up on
the NFL average 50% so far this year.
Giants are going to take a timeout here. I think they want to get their defense set, because sometimes you put the guys in and you don't get the right piece.
Don't forget, coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. Stephen Davis tried for the two-point conversion. Didn't make it. Our Fox Sports bet.
Holy moly.
The bouncing ball hit one of the Giants up men.
That's going to be the Redskins'
The
ball.
Redskins have it.
They can take one shot here, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Recovered by Malcolm Hamilton.
To them, the Redskins get the ball. Now they're going to take a shot here, and they'll just throw one up, because the thing is, they'll probably throw it up against Jeremy Lincoln is what I would do.
I think so.
And then you hope for a pass interference, knowing that the half, although they're just going to kneel down, it looks like, although you know that the half.
Just an overtime. 33-14 the score here. Giants Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Washington 33, the Giants 14. We were just talking. I can't remember when the Giants defensive team gave up this many points in the first half.
Yeah, and they really, I mean, they look slow. They've missed tackles. They haven't put a lot of pressure on Brad Johnson. I mean, Stephen Davis, they're making him look like Barry Sanders. And if you look at the first half stats, you can see, I mean, the Redskins rushed for 79 yards, passed for 150. Here's a big one over here on the right, though. The Redskins in the first half only had 1 penalty. The Giants had 7 penalties, for 91 yards. The Redskins also had 18 first downs to 8 for the Giants. You know, there's the guy right there. We talked about the missed tackles, and Stephen Davis is the guy that benefited. But I said they made him look in the first half like Barry Sanders. He tied a team record with 3 touchdowns already.
18 first downs for the Redskins. That's a game's work normally.
This is what happens when your halftime show doesn't get off the field before the players want to warm up. I mean, they're going to come out there and they're warming up right in the middle of the band.
It's hard to warm up.
So
with bagpipes going by on either side.
And you got guys Warner's doing when he gets down there to snap the ball. So he's right in the middle of them.
Brett Conway.
his head was bobbing up and down.
Yep. Tiki Barber and David Patton back deep.
And I'm sure what they talked about is the Redskins talked about, remember Dallas, and the Giants talked about remember Dallas.
In opposite fashion. We can still come back if you're a Giant. And let's don't have that to happen again if you're a Redskin. That's David Patton. He gets out of the pocket. Almost hemmed up on the sidelines. Finally knocked down at about the 38-yard line where the Giants will take over. Another good kickoff return by David Patton. And he can make some things happen.
Yeah, because he has speed. And that's the thing that the Giants need. We talk about they want to open up and do all the things, but they don't have any walk so you can throw. They don't have that wide receiver. You say we have to double him on every play. There's no one guy that you have to gang up on so you can play pretty balanced defense against him.
Here's Graham. Pass incomplete. Intended for Howard Tross. And Howard, who's always been known as an excellent blocker.
Down the ball did.
What a great name for a defensive back.
Huh? Sam Shade. Yeah. Sam Shade would be a great name for a lot of things.
Private detective.
22.
They just do. If you need something, go see Sam Shade.
Here comes the blitz. Graham throws leaning backward. And he's lucky that one wasn't picked off.
Because Amani Toomer was in the area. Amani Toomer was running a hook, but when he saw away, and he threw it away.
So it's 3rd and 10.
The Giants are not good in this situation. I mean, they're not good in any 3rd down conversions, but 3rd and 10 really throws them for a loop.
They'll go from the shotgun, and here comes the Redskins blitz again. Ball's knocked loose. Graham scrambles for it. He gets it back. But a big loss, and the Giants will have to punt. Darrell Pounds hit his arm just as he started to draw it back.
Defense this second half.
punt is a line drive that Mitchell gets on one bounce, and the Giant coverage is good. Jason Whittle, who snapped it down to make the stop. And so the Redskins take over in the opening moments of quarter number 3. Lady, Statue of Liberty in the entrance to New York Harbor.
Is that someone coming down right past the Grand Lady in a parachute?
I think that's an illusion.
I hope so.
Here's Brad Davis, Steve Davis again. A Redskin first down.
You know, you look over there in that Giant sideline, and you look on, you know, it's 100 degrees. You look on this side, here's the shade, the visitors in the shade, and you ask the question, why are the Giants on the sunny side of the field? Because you usually, you know, put the visiting team in the sunny side. Well, this goes way back. Remember the story when Wellington Mara was a kid? He went to a game, the Giants were on the shady side, he came home and got a cold. And his mother said, "I'd never want you to be on the shady side of the field again." And since that day, the Giants have been on the sunny side of the field at home.
That does go way back.
Yeah, that goes way back. Went to the Polo Grounds.
And, yeah.
And you know, look at that temperature, though. We talk about
it's that hot.
I know it, and it's gone up 10 degrees since the game has started. And we talked about dehydration being a factor. And
that's in the sunshine directly.
Yeah, well, that's where the Giants are standing, because
yeah.
Wellington Mara got a cold when he was a kid. They're standing at 110-degree temperature.
Brad Johnson underneath. Pass complete to Larry Centers. That's another Washington first down.
You know, you have to give Norv Turner credit, though, for taking what happened last week. That Dallas Cowboy loss had to be so devastating, and bring this team back and get them prepared for this game the way that they've been prepared. I mean, their offense has done surgery on this Giant defense.
And whoever brought Brad Johnson deserves a lot of credit also.
That was a big move. They just got to keep him healthy.
Yeah. That's been his history, of course, not being able to stay healthy. That's Davis. Straight ahead down to about the 31-yard line.
Well, he had a knee operation in the offseason. In fact, he said his first 11 visits, lives down in Florida, came up to Washington. He said his first 11 visits, he was on crutches.
Yeah, he said, I had a lot of things going on.
Well, he got married.
Built a house.
Had surgery. Was coming up here on crutches, and they have to take him in the airport, you know, on a wheelchair.
Change teams.
Yeah, and you think, you know, what are the people in Washington think? Every time they see their quarterback coming in, he's coming in a wheelchair for 11 straight visits.
This is the guy we traded for.
He's pretty doggone good, though.
Yes, he is. Reverse coming, that's Westbrook. And he doesn't have enough blockers.
Well, he had one. He had Brad Johnson out there. Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know why you would call that play. I mean, where you have your quarterback and you have a big one.
3rd and 8. Collins to the left. They throw it out to Steve Davis, who throws it out to Larry Centers.
You know what that was, Pat? That was an option. That was Brian Mitchell. Remember, he was a quarterback at one time, and he's always been a reserve quarterback. What they were trying to do.
It's a good place for that play.
That play was ugly.
You can't leap in there. Okay.
Conway will try. That's going to be far enough. And that's good. From 48 yards out, Brett Conway puts the Redskins further ahead. 36-14 now. Washington Redskins within the zone. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area here on Fox as David Patton comes out with the kickoff from Brett Conway. And the Giants offensive unit trots on the field to take over with a challenge that's certainly not insurmountable based on what happened last week. But
you know, one thing you haven't heard, you know, Dan Wilkinson and Dana Stubblefield's name mentioned a lot. I mean, they're the two big tackles that, you know, they paid so much for a year ago, and you know, you wonder if they're ever going to get their money's worth there.
This is LaShawn Johnson. Fumble and a flag on the play. Redskins get the ball, but there was a penalty marker down.
That's their middle linebacker, Derek Smith, who recovered that.
Holding against the Giants. Redskins will have the football.
Holding, 72 offense, penalty decline, first down.
Well, I remember John mentioned earlier.
He's going to be a good player. I mean, they moved him from outside to in the middle, and I think he's going to be pretty good. We can see that the Giants made a change there at corner. That's Andre Weathers now, a rookie, playing in place of Jeremy Lincoln.
That's Davis. Inside the 15 to the 14 right now. For an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat and John, much more imaginative play calling by Tampa Bay this week. All-stock 17-yard reception from Trent Dilfer right now on top of Philadelphia. 19-5 in the third. Pat Summerall, John Madden.
19-5.
You know, as you look at that, though, you think in this league that what happens the week before usually doesn't happen the same thing the next week.
Westbrook taken down. Albert Connell, excuse me, not Westbrook.
Last time I heard JB talk was last night on the fight. I was at him. I would think if you're going to do that, that just tests if Andre Weathers can tackle. I would think somewhere I would test if he can cover, and I would get something in the end zone.
Third down, about 8. Across the middle, Westbrook, touchdown Redskins. Again, a bunch of tackles missed.
And the guy that was there that should have made that play, and again has been very quiet today, is Jesse Armstead. You know, we talked about Michael Strahan not playing like Strahan. Jesse, I mean, they started off and got the Giants off balance in the first series of the game, and they've kept their defense off balance the whole game.
Just looking up into the stands, the extra point is good, and it's 43-14. For the first time in a long time, the fans have already started to leave Giant Stadium. Redskins have just dominated things. That's about the only way to put it. 43-14.
Well, you know, are the Redskins really dominating, or are the Giants just completely inept?
Well,
or is it a combination?
Yeah, you try to be kind. David Patton back to the 15. 43-14, 8-14 left in the third quarter.
And kindness has to stop somewhere where ineptness starts.
Yes, it does. Back in Manhattan, Little Italy, Feast of San Gennaro. The Redskins are having their own feast here at Giant Stadium today, 43-14. And the handoff is to Sean Bennett.
He can
run down by Champ Bailey. That's the longest run of the year for the Giants by far.
He was, you know, a big surprise for the Giants when they got him. That you know how fast he was, and he'd kind of been a full man. The Giants drafted him, and heck, he's a tailback.
He's 230, and as you said, he can run.
Stop!
Graham going deep. Pass is caught by Amani Toomer inside the Redskin 10 at about the 7 or 8 yard line, where it'll be first and goal Giants. First and goal Giants. Wade gets the carry and gets to the 6, picked up a yard. Marco Coleman picked him up.
They think that for their defense that's been a pretty good pickup in the offseason is Marco Coleman. That, you know, they got him from San Diego, and before that he was at Miami. Gives them a little pass rush, and on that play gave him some penetration on the run.
When the time came for him to leave San Diego, he said he wanted to pick out a place where there was some tradition, and the Redskins certainly have some tradition. Graham drops back in the pocket, throws up the middle, incomplete.
See who made that play? Darryl Green.
Yep.
and he made it look so easy.
Yeah.
You know, he said, we were talking about how long he's going to play, and next year he's going to be 40, and he said, if I play against a guy who's, you know, 20 years old, I'll be playing against a receiver half my age. And you just watch him move and you watch him run, and he can can still run so fast, so easily.
And he still has that enthusiasm of a kid.
Yeah, he never did get old.
No.
Darrell Green's never gotten old. He doesn't play old. He doesn't look old. He doesn't do anything old.
3rd and goal.
That maybe tackle once in a while.
Graham can't find a place to go. Tripped up at about the 3 by Sean Barber.
That was Darrell Green. They were trying to work on Darrell Green there, and he had good coverage, and it was his coverage. You know, sometimes they talk about coverage sacks, and that was a coverage scramble. The thing that made Kent Graham scramble was the coverage of Darrell Green.
I don't think I'd work on Darrell Green. He came from all the way across the field and ran down Tony Dorsett.
Yeah.
Jumped over a guy at Soldier Field in Chicago, hurdled a guy on a punt return for a touchdown in a playoff game. Washington takes the timeout. Premiere Sunday, starting with a shocking King of the Hill, Emmy winner for the Best Animated Series, followed by a star-studded Simpsons adventure with Mel Gibson. We'll continue that in just a minute, but right now, 4th and goal for the Giants, and Graham looking if he has time, and he doesn't. And Art Lang takes down Kent Graham.
And there's going to be a penalty. The guy that he was trying to throw to was Ike Hilliard. And Ike Hilliard went down in the end zone.
There is no penalty on the play. There is no penalty.
But that's what he was going to call.
Quarterback did not throw the ball, therefore we cannot have offensive pass interference.
Yep, that's what they were going to call. They were going to call Ike Hilliard went down. That's who he was trying to throw to.
But if he doesn't. So the Redskins will take over in any case at their own 13. Leading 43-14 here. Davis around the outside, knocked out of bounds by Percy Ellsworth, but he gets enough.
Boy, did they put a load on Jesse Armstead on that one. You know, I was talking earlier how Mike Sellers, you know, is a big fullback type of guy. And they blocked Jesse Armstead. I mean, we see Stephen Davis coming off here limping a little, hitting Jesse Armstead. That'll give you a soft corner.
Skip Hicks has taken Davis' place, and that's Hicks. Left side. Davis, 18 carries, 110 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It's time he had a rest.
Well, the thing is that, you know, I mean, if they keep banging those backs in there, you know, then they're going to, you know, get nicks and stuff like that. But he had pretty good blocking.
Yeah.
I mean, they just took Jesse Armstead and decided they were going to get around that corner, and they put 2 guys on him, and they got right around him.
Skip Hicks.
Let people alert now.
Number 20, the right side. Short of a first down by a couple of yards.
There's Kerry Collins. It was kind of a surprise pickup for the Giants. But when he was free, that they gave him a lot of money, and I guess that they wanted a veteran quarterback. And Jim Fossil said that he kind of had to completely redo him. He wanted to redo his personal life and give him time just to watch, and he redid all his mechanics, and felt that he wanted to make Kerry Collins over, and it's a work in progress.
Brad Johnson intended for Irving Fryer, who had a collision with the defensive back.
That was Felipe Sparks who read that slant. You know, you can look in at the quarterback, and when he drops 3 steps, it's either going to be a stop, or it's going to be a slant, or it's going to be a quick out. They can't throw, you know, any other pattern. So when he starts in on a slant, then you see the 3-step drop, you can run right to the point that the pass is going.
Matt turns back to punt. This is a honey. Tiki Barber retreats. Steps away from one Redskin and is taken down at about the 21. Don't forget, next week it's a Fox in it. Randy Moss can do a lot of things, John.
I think that he's probably the most dangerous offensive player in the National Football League.
What a weapon. Here's Graham back to throw, pulls it down.
Get back.
Chase finally does get rid of it. And a pass. I think he intercepted it. I think this is okay. No, they say no. Greg Jones wound up with the football.
Yep. Champ, that's a tough when you take that short drop and you have to go off the side you're trying to throw to, which Bailey did, and then go to the other side. He got the throw there too late.
Graham went with a hard count. Still on his feet. Fires downfield. Pass is knocked down, but there's a flag back at the beginning of the play.
Yeah, that's Mark Boutte of the Redskins. I think they got him. So that was really, in essence, by Ken Graham, was a free throw. So he knew that he got him on the hard count, that they jumped. So now you might as well throw one deep because you're going to get the play over again anyway, or
Offside,
if you do complete it.
95 defense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Dan Wilkinson is number 95. Ernie Kukar, by the way, is the referee. He and his crew have done it. Admiral. Yep.
And they don't have any instant replay reviews. They're doing a good job.
Bennett close to a Giant first down, taken down by Champ Bailey. Right now, for an update, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, take a look at Jake Plummer here. Cardinals trying to get within field goal range here. Cardinal mistake. Flea flicker designed to go long, instead goes short. It's picked off. Cardinals hurting their effort to try to beat Miami for the first time ever. Still trailing by 3. Back to Pat and John.
Back in East Rutherford, New Jersey at Giant Stadium. The Giants looking to at least move the chains. I don't think they got it. They only needed about a half yard. Sean Bennett banged in there.
And Derek Smith, the middle linebacker, hit that pretty good also. They were ganged up waiting for the run there.
So Brian Mitchell drops deep.
Talking about Derek Smith. Watch him, number 50, right here, come in and hit that hole. I mean, that is a collision in the hole that turned the running back sideways. When he was coming in there straight ahead with the ball, after the collision, he was going sideways.
This is a fine punt by Maynard. Mitchell stepped away from 2 Giant cover men and gets back to about the 28.
I bet the Giants have missed more tackles in this game. I mean, I can think off the top of my head, just watching 2 there, I can think of at least 15 missed tackles today by the Giants.
Our aerial shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Goodyear currently maintains a 7 blimp fleet. 3 in the United States, 4 international blimp operations.
Yeah, that would be like, some kid's dream, is
blimp fleet.
Yeah, to have a blimp fleet. I mean, to go to sleep at night, how you kind of dream before you go to sleep, and think, in my hangar, I got 7 good old sturdy blimps.
And you got a good sized hangar. This is Davis back in the game. Running left and picked up about 4. Sam Garnes came up to make the stop.
Turner is one of those head coaches that calls the offensive plays. There's probably 10 or 12 of them in the league, and they're usually guys that as assistant coaches were offensive coordinators, and then when they become head coach, they keep that same duty of play calling. It takes a special type of guy to be able to call the play, because you always have to think ahead and also run the game efficiently.
That's a busy job. Johnson to Centers, and Larry Centers gets a Redskin first down. This is a guy, Larry Centers, who for so many years played for the Cardinals, played so well for the Cardinals as a pass receiver, as a blocker, and as a runner. And Norv Turner was saying last night that he's a better blocker. That was always, if there was a rap against him, he wasn't big enough to be a lead blocker.
Yeah, but he always did all the things. I mean, he would catch for you, and he would block for you, and he would chip for you, and he would do all those things. And when the Arizona Cardinals waived him or cut him, that was one of the big surprises in the NFL.
Yeah. Jesse Armstead was up there ready to collide with Davis.
And Brad Johnson made that same mistake, but at least he didn't get it intercepted that Kent Graham made. If you're going to throw a pass,
he knows something,
behind the line of scrimmage, and you see a linebacker up, and it's not worth it. I mean, the risk is not worth the reward. So anytime you see it, if it's not there, unless the guy's way off, you don't throw it there. You either throw it down the field, throw it to someone else, or you throw it away. Derek Smith is still, he's feeling the effects of that short yardage play.
And off to Davis. Sheds one tackler.
You know, it was interesting when we were on the bus before the game, we saw Jason Sehorn come in, and he didn't know whether he was going to play or not. He wanted to.
At that time.
Thought that he could play, and then they told him he wasn't going to, and this Jim Fossil said, you know, I don't want to risk it. There's 14 more games, but I don't know that he would have made any difference anyway. I'm not saying, you know, they're getting beaten, you know, 43-14. You can't say, well, if Jason Sehorn played, it would have been different.
Well,
but
he hadn't played football in a year. Yeah. Here's Johnson, and he's going to take off with it. And Brad Johnson lunges for a first down. He is very athletic.
Well, and the thing is, he knows how to play football, and he loves playing football, and you can just tell that as you said, he lunged forward. He knew the down the distance. He knew where that yard marker was. He knew where he had to get the first down, and he did it. I guess it's called quarterback awareness.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score: the Redskins 43, the Giants 14. Fox NFL Sunday from Giants Stadium will continue after a word from your local Fox station.
Threw a pass and caught a pass on the same play for a touchdown. It was Brad Johnson. Remember this against Minnesota?
Yeah.
When he played for Minnesota?
That's the only time in the history of the NFL that's happened.
Yep, it's happened one time. Brad Johnson in Minnesota.
Skip Hicks has replaced Davis as the Redskin runner.
You see more and more of this on the sidelines. You know, pictures and drawings and types of things, and that's when you can make your adjustments. I mean, you have. In fact, there's Mike Nolan there. It looked like he saw what our camera down there.
Now he's covering it up.
They're covering up. That must be a real good defensive secret.
Davis back in the Redskin backfield for Hicks, and straight ahead just to the line of scrimmage.
He's still drawing down there and still talking though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. Most defensive coaches are paranoid. Now that's not Mike Nolan. That's not a football coach. That's Leroy Neiman. He's drawing on the sideline. He's drawing a football player.
He did a picture of you, he said. He was in the booth before.
Yeah. Back when I was coaching. Yeah.
And I'm sure you were winning. Here comes the Giant blitz, and they had the right call. Larry Centers carries a group down the sideline. They never do get him down.
And that was another missed tackle. And that time was Andre Weathers. You know, we talked about Jeremy Lincoln. So they take Lincoln out because they found something weak. They put the rookie Andre Weathers in there. And then Weathers does the same thing that Lincoln did. He comes up and misses a tackle, points to himself and says, "I'm sorry, that was me." But a lot of times you think of defensive backs and they got to cover, they got to be able to run, but they also, in today's football, they have to be able to tackle. And the Giant tackling today has been atrocious.
Davis goes in motion. Flag on the play. Johnson gets it complete down the middle. That's Larry Centers again. Inside the Giant 10. This might be called back, however.
That's the thing that Centers does so well. Yeah. Coming out of the backfield, and not just those little things. I mean, he can come out of the backfield. This one's going to come back, but he can come out of the backfield and run a deeper pattern too.
Sam Garnes,
two men moving at the same
slow
time.
at getting up.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
Still first down. It's against the Redskins. So
you can have multiple shifts. You can shift as much as you want to, but you can only have one man in motion. So before the ball is snapped, you can only have 1 minute. See, they got two guys moving at the same time here, and then after that, not setting for a second. So they count the movement down here and then the motion. Although they look like down here in the bottom that they were set for a second.
Garnes. Brad Johnson hands off to Stephen Davis. And Davis down to the Giant 30.
I'll say this, one thing that Norv Turner learned last week, you know, that they had Dallas and they let them come back and they lost the game. This week, you know, he's ahead 43-14. And there's no way. He has Stephen Davis is in there.
We're not going to let him up this time.
He's going to keep Brad Johnson in there. There's not going to be any of that thing. Okay, let's loosen up here and start getting some other guys in the game. Not at this point.
There's Davis again. The old sucker.
You know, one thing, yeah, when the back gets a little tired too, he doesn't always follow that guard because Trey Johnson was pulling. He was pulling around the left side. And, you know, Stephen Davis, he just took the ball and went right in the hole. He's looking longingly towards the sideline. Yeah. You notice that?
Yep, I did.
Those are the kind that when you're a coach, if you don't want the guy to come out, you'd always go turn your back, take a drink of water.
He goes in motion now. Brad Johnson back to throw. Fires down the middle. Redskin touchdown, Stephen Alexander. He does make it look easy.
Yeah, that's what they did. As you said, he went in motion, so he goes in motion to the Alexander side. So that takes and spreads the defense out to that side, and then Alexander just goes straight up to the post. You see it, here's Alexander right here. He's going to go to the post. Good pass protection, and the thing that opened that up was Stephen Davis going in motion. He went outside of Alexander.
And for the extra point is Conway. The Redskins are in the 50s. (50-14). With 11 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in this contest.
That was caused by the motion.
Here's David Patton on the kickoff return again. Met at about the 18 by good Redskin coverage, led by Tim Denton.
Yeah, one of the things that they were talking about last night is Stephen Alexander, and how, you know, he's going to be a bigger part of the pass offense. He wasn't last week, but today he has 86 yards and he's already scored 2 touchdowns. So now I think that means that that's the end of Brad Johnson's day, huh?
I would think so.
Usually when the quarterback takes off his protective padding, it means the end.
Let's go down now to D.J. Johnson.
I know it may not matter much right now, the score being what it is, but the medical report from the sideline is Sam Garnes on the last tackle. He got a concussion. He's a little dizzy. He may or may not return, but at this point, he may not want to return. Back up to the booth, Pat and John.
And if he's got a little concussion, he shouldn't return.
Well, you know, how do you put little in front of concussion? You know, the little concussion is always the one that some other guy has.
Yeah. Complete to Pete Mitchell.
You know, one thing we talked about all day about how the Giants have really been sloppy on defense and missed tackles and so on. The Redskins, conversely, have been pretty crisp with their tackling.
Yes, they have.
You know, they didn't. I mean, the Redskin defense hasn't been a strength over the years, but they're getting after it pretty good today.
Do you ever agree with the old theory that good tackling has a lot to do with desire?
Oh, that's a big part of it.
Here's Graham back in the pocket, throws underneath. Mike Hilliard cut down.
It's usually the desire that puts you in position to make the tackle. The desire and the instincts are the things that get you there, and then balance and leverage and all those things in tackling. But there's some guys. Remember Bill Bates for years was, you know, would be the first guy down on special teams and make the tackle. You knew he wasn't the fastest guy. Why was he always the first guy down there? Because he wanted to be.
Here's Graham, drops the throw again. Up the middle, complete. That's to Ike Hilliard.
They didn't blow that whistle that first time, so Ike Hilliard got up. And, you know, we looked there and see what happened. Remember that hit that Derek Smith made on that short yardage play, that tackle? Looked like he dinged his shoulder because they'd been working on him ever since that short yardage stop that he made. Remember when the guy was going in there square and Derek Smith knocked him perpendicular?
And he has played up until that point an outstanding game, Derek Smith. His first year as middle linebacker, moved in from the outside.
That was a blitz.
Giants pick it up pretty well. The pass is caught again by Hilliard. You really can't fault Ken Graham. He's thrown the ball pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you can fault him that, you know, he didn't get it when he needed it. You can fault him for throwing an interception on a screen pass for a touchdown. And now things are getting kind of loose and sloppy.
That's Tiki Barber.
I mean, you never want to evaluate that way, but I will say it's a lot easier to play either side of it when the score is 50-14 and you're in the fourth quarter. Norv Turner is about ready to get happy. He doesn't want to let himself get happy yet, but he's about ready to get happy.
This is a Redskin timeout. Maybe he can get himself happy during the timeout. That tells you who's on the losing end. 50-14, the Redskins over the Giants. Not very sunny on that side. I don't care where the sun is.
Well, you know, they felt so confident in their defense, and then their defense just got mauled today.
Graham has the pass caught. Hilliard squirms down to about the 7. Matt Stevens had him in the grasp. 50-14.
Yep, the Giants are going hurry up now. I figured they're at a point 50-14. They don't need any more huddles.
Graham. Incomplete, I believe.
You know, this is the most points in the first half. Remember the game in 1966?
I remember it.
You did that game?
I did it.
Yeah, it was a 72-point game where the Redskins beat the Giants 72-41. Well, the Redskins scored 38 points in that first half, and that was in 1966. So they scored 33 in the first half today. So this is the most points scored in the first half since that 1966.
You know what I remember about that game? Otto Graham was the Redskin coach. He called a timeout with about 10 seconds to go. This is a touchdown from Graham to Hilliard. He called a timeout, leading 69-41 to kick a field goal. Charlie Gogolak.
But those are the things you don't do because they'll always be remembered.
Right.
But you see what happened when you don't get a bump up there. Had you gotten a bump on the line of scrimmage, then you would have had a chance to come off. Ike
Hilliard on the touchdown pass from Graham. And Daiuiso for the extra point. The touchdown. Graham to Hilliard. Washington 50. The New York Giants 21-7-12 still left. And the Giants
getting ready for an onside kick here.
Not very well disguised.
As the onside prevent. You got all these Giants in a 3-point stance.
And the ball blew off the tee.
And I watch back there behind the kicker. They got these guys here. Now these guys right here, they'll all get in a 3-point stance, like a sprinter stance. See, and they're 10 yards from the ball. So they're going to start running and try and get here when the ball is kicked, and then knock the heck out of these guys when the ball goes at least 10 yards. They're all down and ready. Boom. All for naught.
All for naught. As Larry Centers, who can do so many things, caught the kickoff on the fly.
But you see what they do is you have Larry Centers got it first.
So it's Redskin ball. Rodney Sidney Pete is now the Redskin quarterback. That's Skip Hicks. He ducks under the tacklers and picks up 3 or 4 yards.
Flags all over the place.
And everybody said, who, me? There's an injured Giant on the play.
Yeah, that's Cedric
Jones, yeah.
You see that they're starting to pull him off. Corey Widmer down.
Yeah.
Michael Strahan is pulling Corey Widmer off.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 90 defense, 15-yard penalty at the end of the run.
That's why Michael Strahan was doing that to Corey Widmer. It was Corey Widmer who got the 15-yard penalty. And again, these things happen when you're down 50 to 21. Yep. They're called frustration penalties.
Charles McDonald and Mark Mata. Here's Skip Hicks again. Cut down right at the line of scrimmage. The technical director is Joe Abenda. Pre-game show was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producers Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill.
Yeah, one thing that the Redskins are trying to do, and you can see Skip Hicks doing it, is when you're ahead like this, you're just trying to get the game over and run the clock out. And when you run the ball, you want to stay in bounds, and that's a big thing. You don't want to go out of bounds. You don't want to do anything that's going to stop the clock now if you're the Redskins. If you're the Giants, I don't think you want to stop the clock.
Second and about 9. Here's Hicks again. Stumbles, and down he goes.
Holy moly. I think Trey Johnson has made some great blocks today.
Has.
I mean, you talked about him losing weight and looking better. I'll guarantee you he's moving better. When he pulls out and hits guys, he reminds me of Larry Allen. Watch him. He's right in front of that motion right there. Now watch him when he pulls out and the collision he's going to have right there. Doink! They just go right on their backs.
That's Jesse Armstead.
I know it. I mean, Jesse Armstead has had a tough day. You get right in behind him and he'll knock guys back and down, and first thing that hits the ground is back.
Here's Hicks. No, this is Brian Mitchell. I beg your pardon. All I can see was the 0. You know, you talk about Larry Allen and Trey Johnson, and Norm Turner was saying something to us last night that they had moved Trey from left guard to right guard. And you wouldn't think that'd make much difference. But he said he's a much better right guard than he is left guard.
Yeah, and I think he's lost some weight. I think one of the big things is, remember when the Redskins had a change of ownership, Daniel Snyder came in and he challenged not only the coaching staff, he fired a whole bunch of people, but he challenged a bunch of players. And one of the players he challenged was Trey Johnson. And one of the things he challenged is to lose weight. I mean, some of these guys have to lose weight. Some of these guys have to play better. These high salary guys, we expect them to do something. And Trey Johnson is one of those guys that reacted to what Daniel Snyder was talking about.
He accepted the challenge. It may not look like he lost too much weight, but believe me, he has. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader when the Redskins battle the Jets. Then the NFC Central Division rivals, the Vikings and the Packers clash. Randy Moss, the Vikings. Coverage begins an hour before kickoff. The pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Lambeau Field, Brett Favre, the Packers, and all their mystique. The Vikings, who've been under Denny Green, perennial contenders and division champions last year. Should be interesting.
And it's always fun, like we said earlier, go to Lambeau and you really get the feeling at this time of year of football and fall.
And you really get it up there, don't you? Here is Brian Mitchell. Nothing doing. Those series notes, we talked about this earlier. Minnesota swept the series with Green Bay last year, and Green Bay went out and drafted the cornerbacks with their first 3 picks. We got to find somebody to stay with Randy Moss. I'm not sure they've done that.
No. I mean, that's not going to help. But you know, there's not a lot of fans here. But you know, it's just starting to go up because this guy here, Kerry Collins, is in now. So said they were great fans, and they really know what's going on. And even when the score is 50-21, they know what's going on.
Collins on the mark with his first throw to Joe Giravicius. Cedric Jones, you saw him being helped out a minute ago. Sprained right knee. There's number 94.
They already got that stimulating thing on him already. You know, one of the things we're talking about how Kerry Collins changed his, or how Jim Fossil changed Kerry Collins' technique. One of them is the way he holds the ball. And what he did is he had him take a football and run 50 yards with it. And he put the ball right in front of him. He said, do it again. He said, okay, now drop back and just put the ball the same place. And because Kerry Collins was holding it way up by his shoulder, and he wanted him to hold it down by his waist and then bring it up in your throwing motion. Now watch him when he throws here. The ball won't come right up to his right shoulder. It'll come up just above his waist, and then when he's ready to throw, it'll go to his right shoulder.
He's 2 for 2. There he is. Just what you're talking about. Now swings it out to Sean Bennett. Bennett out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Here's what you were talking about.
Yeah, you see, he's not going to bring the ball right up to his right shoulder now. He could carry it there all the time. You carry it normally and then put it there when you have to throw it.
Collins facing a blitz, gets rid of it. The pass was there to Pete Mitchell.
You know, one thing, even though the Giants are getting killed here by the Redskins, I think when they bring Kerry Collins in here, all Jim Fossil's trying to do is get Kerry Collins a little work. I mean, this isn't one of, I mean, there may be a quarterback controversy here someday, but this isn't the start of one today. I mean, this has nothing to do with quarterback controversy. This is just, we're getting killed here. Let's just get a guy a little work.
And let's have a look at him. This time out of the shotgun, and here comes the blitz after him again, and the Giants pick it up well. Pass is juggled and dropped by Giravicius. They play together at Penn State.
Oh, just saying, now Giravicius, every time he's in the game, you see him make plays and then he drops one. But I still think that he's a guy that the Giants ought to have on the field more. I mean, he's a competitor. He's a tough guy. He loves the game. He'll go after you. And
he's a big target.
I don't think you can get enough of those guys on the field. Nor can you get enough of those guys. That Trey Johnson there has been blocking like heck today.
3rd down facing the Giants. They need 10. Collins out of the shotgun. Has protection. Pass again dropped, this time by Tiki Barber. This is a little bit behind him, but that should have been caught.
But it didn't make any difference anyway, because it was one of those 3rd and 10, throw a 4-yard pass, and that
bothers you, doesn't it?
I mean, it drives me nuts.
It always
I mean, it has, and you just can't keep saying it. But you know, if you're going to throw the ball, throw the doggone thing. If you just want 4 yards, run it.
It doesn't really make much sense. It doesn't make any sense.
No, but they're going to go for it on 4th. Now, if he does it on 4th down and throws a 3 or 4 yard pass on 4th down, now that would be stupid.
You're going to leave the booth.
No, I won't. I don't care.
Here's Collins back. Well, that's deep enough. Picked off by the Redskins. By Matt Stevens. And Stevens hit after he's down. And there's a flag, I think.
They're still hitting.
Yeah.
There may be some foreign objects down there.
Luke Pettigrew came in and put a hit on Stevens.
There's still some stuff. There's another penalty.
Yeah.
They're still going on down there. There's another one.
There's another one.
Holy moly, there's flags all over the place. There's 3 different flags.
Like the 4th of July.
There's more
fireworks going up. Flags going up.
There's more hitting in that exchange there than we're in the last 3 rounds of that Trinidad De La Hoya fight last night.
You stayed up to watch that?
Yeah, I stayed up. I got suckered into it. And then, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a very good fight because De La Hoya thought he got ahead and then he just quit fighting.
There's
they got a lot to talk about.
Flag left, yeah.
They got a lot to talk about because there were 3 different flags thrown, so it can't be for this. Has to be 3 different penalties.
Personal foul. Redskins.
Two.
Two personal fouls, Redskins.
There's one more in there somewhere. Oops, it's the guy that has one finger up.
Yeah.
The line judge there.
Yep.
I think we'll get a third one here.
Against.
Personal foul 23. Also personal foul long after 99.
Long
Both
after.
penalties are 15-yard penalties.
Long after.
So you're going to see the first one here. He's down, and Stevens
did get hit late.
knows that he gets hit late, so he throws the ball at the late hit. So that's the first one. And then there was two more after that. SU, and then we drafted him with the Raiders.
Skip Hicks wrestled to the ground at about the 12 by Casey Weldon. I beg your pardon. Casey Weldon is the quarterback now.
Watch number 77, Luke Pettigrew, the old rookie. Someone just came in while he was standing there, poked him right in the eye.
Yeah.
Like the Three Stooges deal. Went quick. You see that?
That's Lang. Kennard Lang.
Well, you can't do that. You can't come and poke a man in the eye. He's just standing there.
Even if he's a rookie?
Yeah, he's from Notre Dame. Luke Pettigrew. You see him?
Yeah.
Lang just comes up, just pokes him right in the eye.
There's Terry Robisky.
Oh, Biscuit.
Biscuit?
Yeah, Biscuit.
50-21 contest for the Redskins. Dominating 50-21. Casey Weldon is the quarterback today. Well, look at this story, John.
Yeah, the 4 turnovers, 19 missed tackles. I mean, this is the sloppiest Giant defense that I can remember. I mean, they have 8 penalties, 50 points allowed. That was the most since that game we were talking about, 1966 versus the Redskins. But you know that when you see the Giants play that you're not going to get a heck of a lot of offense. You always don't expect a lot of offense, but you do expect a lot of defense, and they didn't get it today.
Brad Johnson had a heck of a day. 3 touchdown passes, 231 yards. Stephen Davis, 3 touchdowns, 126 yards on the ground. Steven Alexander, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but how about the guys that blocked for him?
Yeah.
How about Andy Heck and Keith Sims? We mentioned Trey Johnson and the job that he did. Another guy is John Jansen, who was a rookie. The rookie right tackle. He did a heck of a job today against Michael Strahan.
I don't think we mentioned Michael Strahan.
No, I mean, he had a couple of penalties and he did some other things, but I mean, and Jansen had some help over there, but he's a good player. I mean, he's one of those throwback guys, number 76 there, and everyone loves him. I mean, the coaches love him, the other players love him. Talking to Sonny Jurgensen, he said, wait until you see this guy, and everyone called him the same thing. He's a throwback.
Yeah. To Joe Jacoby or people like that, you think?
Just throwbacks. I mean, anytime, kind of gives you goosebumps. Guys that love football, go play, put your head down in the mud, drive the guy out, get fired up, know what the heck you're doing.
I'm really impressed with this guy, Brad Johnson.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and we said it right up front. I mean, he's a quarterback that knows how to play football, and the Redskins haven't had one of those in a while.
And he should just get better as he becomes more familiar. Pat Summerall for John Madden and DJ Johnson saying so long from John.
Philadelphia, great day for me. I've got Big Bill Moss up in the booth and the legendary Brian Baldinger down on the sideline. Brian, what do you got?
I tell you what, you're going to see a real contrast in styles out here today, Sam. Tony Dungy has built his resume on defense, and that's what he's done here. He's built an elite defense, and they were suffocating a week ago against the Giants. On the other side, Andy Reid, a disciple of the West Coast offense, and he got things going.